The power feed for your spindle moulder, an absolute must for any spindle moulder, but is yours mounted in its best configuration? So spindle moulders are generally set up in a way that they're meant to be mounted in a certain way. Like, I'll bring the camera in to a closer angle and I'll show you in a minute, but they're set up to be mounted more often than not on the right, or facing the machine on the left hand side of the spindle. That's where you most commonly, or where I've most commonly see them mounted. But I'm going to show you why that's not the best place to mount them, and why in fact it's actually a dangerous position to mount them. So I'm just going to bring the camera in now. I'm going to turn the feed unit around and I'm going to show you, and I'm going to explain a little bit. So hopefully you can see this on the camera, but at least every 3-wheel anyway, feed unit has a larger gap here than between those wheels, and that's designed to go between your cutter here. So you've got a bit of clearance between the wheels to stop any cutters hitting into the wheels if you set your feed unit up wrong. Now, because of where they've got that sort of sets your feed unit up for its best mounting position to be, as I said, on the left hand side of the table. But there's a big problem with mounting it on the left hand side of the table, and if anybody watching this has bought a second hand feed unit, such as what I've got here, like every feed unit I have here have all come to me second hand. This particular one is a victim of what I'm about to show you, and I'll show you what it does. But if you have it mounted on the left hand side of the spindle moulder, what do you think happens if you forget to tighten up your unit when you're tighten up this movement of it? What do you think happens if you forget to tighten that up and you turn it on? It drags it straight into the cutters. Now, all of our feed units here are mounted on the right hand side of the spindle moulder. It doesn't give you the best adjustment here, but what it does do is when this feed unit is set in place, if I happen to forget to tighten that adjustment, when I push my timber through, what actually happens is it pulls away from the cutters, as opposed to when it's on the other side. As I said, when it's on the other side, it'll pull in like that. And you will run your feed wheels straight into the cutters if you've got it mounted on that side. So if you do have it mounted on that side, you need to make sure every time that you double check that you've tightened that up. Now, in 30 years of operating these, I think I can record twice that I've forgotten to do it up and my feed unit's walked away from me like that. So it does happen, so you need to be aware of it. Now, I'll just show you on this one. Again, I'll just have to readjust the camera and bring it in. So hopefully you can see what's happened here. Now, this wheel, you can see that this one's the normal size. This one has been run right off here. So whoever owned this before me, this wheel used to be, it was either that one or that one, I can't remember now, but we changed it over. That's been run into the cutters when it's been mounted on the other side, and you can see the damage that it done. Like that's cut. Not only has it taken off a hell of a lot of the material of the rubber part of the feed roller there, but it's also chopped into the aluminium part of the construction of the wheel. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. A feed unit mounted on the left hand side of the spindle, forget to do them up, turn them on, and they walk straight into the cutters. So have a look at your feed unit and see which side it's mounted on. If it's on the left hand side and you're happy with it there, you're going to have to double check and make sure, as I said before, that you've got it tightened up on your adjustments every single time. Never start your machine up without double checking it. If you want to get around it, just simply mount it on the other side. You're far better off. It's far safer. As I said, you lose some of your adjustment capabilities, but it's a far better outcome, especially if you're a person who's gets a little bit sidetracked and you forget to do something like that. It's just another safety precaution that you can have on it to stop it being run into the cutters. So I just thought I'd give you a little bit of a look at what I meant by having it mounted on the right hand side stuffs up your adjustment. So this one here, it's actually mounted to run jam, but you can see, like, hopefully you can see how far in that is. Like, I've literally got absolutely no adjustment there whatsoever. But when you come around to the front here, you know, that's only about 38-39 mil off the fence, so it does muck up your adjustment quite significantly. But as I said before, the whole purpose of it is just so, you know, when you forget to tighten up this is the one. And it sounds kind of silly, but it's so easily done, because you've got so many things going on when you're setting up a spindle moulder, between setting the cutters in place, and then you've got 3 or 4 different adjustments to think about when you're setting up the feed unit, and you've got to lock all of them off, and it only takes somebody to interrupt you. Very, very easily done.